Pardon me.
Good evening.
If one song costs 3 cents, why do 3 songs cost a dime?
That's the rate.
Shouldn't the price per song get cheaper when more are commissioned?
Well, I get tired after 2, so the third cost extra.
Do 4 songs cost $1?
Buy a song or depart.
That was a dime.
I know the sound of Lady Liberty. I'll have whiskey.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
This is Cheapseat Reviews.
Hello, and thank you for listening to Cheapseat Reviews, the podcast that explores the Hollywood film industry for the greater good. This is episode 141, and tonight we are talking about Bone Tomahawk. That's right, we chose this delightful little film as our Thanksgiving movie. I am Sean Arad, and joining me tonight is Andrew. I will never look at a wishbone the same Jemison.
It's the official opinion of the backup deputy that this movie is amazing.
All right. Corny, that's the worst smelling tea ever. It's soup. Logan.
What's the story, Wishbone?
Isn't that the theme song for that Wishbone dog thing, whatever?
Yeah, it was.
Okay. And
yeah, because it's soup, and you know what that soup's made of?
No.
Everything that's in a man.
Oh, yeah. I hope not. And Sam literally broke his leg before recording this episode. Vector, who was not here because he literally broke his leg.
God rest his soul.
No, he's fine. But he did actually break his leg about 3 days before we were tonight as we record. So he is on all kinds of medication and is unable to get to a computer to record. So it's just the three of us tonight.
He's on his way to a computer,
yeah,
but he's having to stop, take medicine, he's hallucinating a little bit.
And here's the funny thing: I don't know if I guess it has to be just a coincidence, but maybe it's irony. I don't know that one of the heroes of the movie is a guy who is also, crippled by his injury, his ailment, in his leg, and I thought, oh my gosh, and Sam broke his foot. And so then I thought, well, if we were going to compare the 4 of them to the 4 of us, though, Sam would really be Chicory, right? Like not just because he's old, but because he never shuts up.
I was like, because he's faithful? I don't.
Yeah, well, we can do the old bit, but I mean, I guess in this particular story, I guess, but then that makes Sam the hero, right? He's the guy that's going to come in in the last minute and save us. I don't know if I want that. So, because I think he would just leave. He'd just turn around and go home. I'm just teasing, Sam. We love you. Maybe.
But not your leg.
So pull up a comfy chair and let's dive into this movie. So, Andrew.
Except for Sam, because he can't dive anymore.
So Andrew forced us to watch this. Andrew,
Broke leg tomahawk.
You were the one that recommended. Somebody else recommended it too, I think, at some point. But you've been, in fact, Andrew, I think you recommended it to us before you joined the show.
Yeah.
You were like, hey, you got to watch this movie. It's great. So before we actually get into what is Bone Tomahawk to us, Andrew, please enlighten the people, the good listeners. What in the world is Bone Tomahawk?
All right. All 5 of you, listen up.
I think we're up to 6 now.
4 men set out in the Wild West, in the Wild West, to rescue a group of captives from cannibalistic cave dwellers.
Good job, IMDb.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Why not? I guess that's close enough. So I know this was the first time viewing for Corny and myself, right? Corny?
Oh yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and Andrew, you've seen this now, I think 3 times. You said.
3 times, yes.
Okay, cool. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm a big fan of westerns, and I'm a big fan of Kurt Russell in westerns. I haven't seen Hateful Eight. I want to.
Oh, it's good too.
So I like Kurt Russell. I like grizzled, bearded Kurt Russell. Though he was still pretty good in Big Trouble in Little China. So
Son of a bitch must pay.
oh yeah, I got that. Somewhere I don't know. It's
Although I think that line would have been great.
Bitch must pay.
yeah, I'm sure that was somewhere that was said in this show, just without that cheesy music in the background. Yeah, video game music. So anyway, Andrew, I guess I'll let you lead off. This was your movie, and I'll let you kind of set the stage for us there.
Okay, so I guess it was about the time that I had gotten caught up on everything on Netflix, everything on Hulu, and I had nothing else to watch. And I went on a search for movies that I thought might be good. And I put this one on my list, kind of in my queue of waiting list of things that I should watch or thought might be good. And eventually I got around to it. And I guess this was about, I don't know, 6-7 months ago. It's been a while, maybe even longer. And I watched it thinking, I'm not a fan of Westerns, so I don't really know how great this will be. I immediately, I'm talking the first 12, 15 minutes of the movie was hooked. And it really takes you on quite a ride. And yeah, the ride's not always sprinting. It slows down, but
To a trot, if you will.
yeah, it's definitely worth the wait. And I think that everything, the dialogue was great, the cinematography was great, the music, what little music there was, and I think, I mean, maybe we'll get into that a little bit later, but plays a really cool role because, teaching band, I always tell my students, the more effective, the more we can emphasize the silence, the more effective the music becomes later on. And I think that they did a great job with that in this movie. The chemistry between the actors, I thought was fantastic, and they really sucked you in. And then Patrick Wilson, his character, you really kind of connect with him right from the beginning, and throughout the movie you kind of feel sorry for them. He's just trying to get his wife back, and he not only can't get to her like the other people that are with them, but he's struggling, like we talked about, with his ailment, with his broken foot or leg or whatever. And the idea of the cross between a Western and a horror film really was intriguing, because I'm not a great fan of Westerns, but I do like horror films, and marrying those together was pretty cool.
Sure. Okay. It's almost hard to believe that you had watched everything worth watching, and this is what the thing you came up with next. But I have so much stuff I'm supposed to watch on the Netflix and whatever. Corny.
So it almost lost me in the first 15 seconds. The opening scene, if you intend to watch this, has one of those things that was not expecting the amount of gore that was about to happen. And then that almost really threw me off. However, the movie did manage to rein me back in. Now, I hate horror movies. However, this turned out to be a pretty good one. It left a lot of questions, like a good horror movie should. I don't have to see everything to be afraid of it. And I think they did that incredibly well. You got a silhouette of the bad guy at first, then he kind of shows up magically again. But either way, at no point in time do you really see the gruesomeness until you see the monster later. Kind of like Cloverfield in that aspect, that you never really see the monster, and then eventually you do. Beyond that, the story was believable. It made sense to me, even though it was a Western. Injured guy, still injured. There's no Superman moment. He literally crawls his way to his wife, which was pretty awesome. Going forward, I mean, you don't expect everybody to live, and then they get captured, and there's no heroic moment there either. But ultimately, I thought this was a great story, and it kept me intrigued. Now, I may not love it nearly as much as Andrew does, but he did pick a good one.
All right, right on. And normally I would throw to Sam, but he's not here, so I guess I'll go. So I love me some Westerns. I haven't seen as many as I need to, but I do like Westerns. This movie had me kind of at the beginning of the movie when we saw David Arquette. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's in this movie. And then I went and actually looked at the cast and was like, oh, wow, this is actually kind of a good cast. Now, it's not a bunch of A-listers. You got like kind of 2 A-listers and then 3 or 4 other kind of dudes who've been in big movies. I mean, Kurt Russell, I think, he's still kind of A-list, I think. I mean, he is going to be in the new Guardians of the Galaxy. He's still working, right?
Yeah.
Patrick Wilson has done some movies. Right? He did the Watchmen movie. He did the Alamo, which I love him in the Alamo. I think he's actually really good. He's like a
Insidious.
Never seen that. I don't do the horror films. But he's in The Conjuring too, right? Or the Conjuring's movies.
I haven't seen that one.
I don't know. He's in both of them, I think. And he did the he did The Conjuring and Watchmen, something called Hard Candy. But he was also in your Phantom of the Opera there too. So anyway, I think he's a fine actor, and I thought he was actually pretty good in this movie. David Arquette was basically bored, and his wife let him out for a little while. Matthew Fox, dude from Lost, I thought he was really good, and you kind of despise him the entire movie. You respect him, you respect his skill and his knowledge, but you kind of hate him.
Is that our Sam?
Yeah, a little bit, yeah.
I think he has a regaining or a...
he kind of has his redemption moment.
Redemption, thank you.
Which is a trope.
A moment of redemption.
But you almost feel bad because he doesn't really get it. Like,
right.
He has this grand gesture that he wants to do. Give me the dynamite, and I'm going to go out in literally a blaze of glory, and he gets a tomahawk to the face before he can do it.
Bone Tomahawk, even.
Yeah, so I kind of felt bad for him, and it probably just boiled down to they didn't have the budget to actually blow anything up. Is probably what it boils down to. And then Richard Jenkins as Chicory was fantastic.
By the way, he gets my vote as the best actor of the film.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
because I didn't even know that was him.
I
agree.
Incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely incredible.
Yeah, he was so good, and he's a good actor, and we've seen him in the... did we do the Jack Reacher movie? No, we didn't. We should.
But we did see him in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, he was in Cabin in the Woods, where he's really funny in that. He's just got this really good, dry sense of humor, and he was great in this movie, and most of my clips are of him talking. The wife, Lily Simmons, she's very attractive, and she got very naked in this movie, which is fine. She's in Westworld, the new Westworld show. But she was in Banshee, which mostly filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. So there's your North Carolina connection. And then a bunch of other people that I've seen. The piano guy was the freaking principal from the Back to the Future movies, and he has not aged a day since that movie.
I half expected him to say, "You are a slacker."
Yeah, slacker. James Tolkien is his name, and like
James R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, so known for Back to the Future 1, 2, 3, and Top Gun, and
I want some butts.
Yeah, so like,
actually, it's not.
He's done some stuff, right? Yeah, he was in. Okay, so after Back to the Future 3, and then he did Dick Tracy. He was Numbers, and then from there he's just whatever, these little bit parts, right? Because he's what he is. He's a character actor. But he was really funny in this. Obviously, I captured him in this. He was also corny. He's our leverage connection.
Wait. He was he in Leverage?
He was the guy who was trying to steal the heart.
Oh yeah, he was all old and stuff.
Yeah,
That's right.
at the airport. He says, "You've killed me, Mr. Ford." "Nope, God killed you. I just made sure it took." I love that line. Anyway, it's a good line.
It's a good line for telling students too when they fail the test. You failed me, Mr. Logan. No, God did.
God did. I just made sure it took. That's perfect. Andrew, you have our permission to use that.
Nice.
So anyway, so this movie surprised me in the fact that it was super low budget. I just finally looked at the budget. Do either one of you care to guess?
1.8 million.
That is correct. That is actually correct. 1.8 million. I mean,
That's incredible.
That is
for the quality of movies.
Oh, I mean, what?
and
Rubber was shot for 1.7 or something like that?
Well, I don't know, but I'll put it to you this way. And the Western that I worked on was Ghost Town in the Sky. And that was a $2 million budget, and we didn't do anything near as good as this. I mean, and we didn't have these actors. And obviously, this is the kind of movie where, I mean, these actors were probably like, this is actually kind of a cool script. I don't have any projects. They probably took most of their money on the back end if this movie made any money. I don't know if it made any money. I haven't looked yet.
I think it only made a couple 100,000.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't. It wasn't in theaters. I would be interested.
If it were in theaters, they would not have probably gone as gruesome as they did.
Well, I mean, there have been movies that were just as gruesome, if not worse, than in movie theaters.
The Hills Have Eyes. As a matter of fact, because of the way this movie started, it almost became The Hills Have Eyes for me, and I almost was like, I'm done.
Weird. So anyway, yeah, I wish there was a website. I mean, I just don't know what it is, to see like what money it's made like on DVD rentals and garbage like that. So, I mean, I don't know.
After this podcast, I mean, obviously it's going to go through the roof.
Oh, I'm sure it will. Yeah, its IMDb page is probably going to skyrocket. But anyway, it was it won some awards. Nominated for Best Independent Film, nominated for Best First Film, I guess for the director. It won the Buenos Aires International Film Festival for Independent Cinema. It won the Chainsaw Award, Best Actor Kurt Russell. Won Best Makeup in the Fright Meter Awards. So, I mean, it's for all intents and purposes, it's actually kind of a good movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it was well made. I have very few complaints about it. I mean, truly. And the only technical, and by technical I mean the production, the way the movie was made, my only issue was the sound design. Every other noise, the dialogue was fine, but every other noise was really loud.
Yeah.
Really loud.
All the footsteps and...
Oh my gosh, them walking in the gravel. It was like, are you dragging chains behind you? What is this noise? There's a clip I captured where Patrick Wilson is sitting on the couch and he pats the couch. Like, did they mic the couch? It was very loud. There was a lot of that stuff happening. So, I don't know if that was done intentionally or not, but, again, you could hear the dialogue, but everything was just really loud. But like the gun sounded cool, and so I didn't. Yeah, that's a nitpick, but it was just weird. But yeah, I guess my initial thought to kind of round this segment out before we go into the meat of the movie is that yeah.
I mean, down to the bone of the movie.
Yep, there you go. That's a better metaphor or joke or whatever. Is that I actually kind of liked it. Yeah. So let's talk about that for a sec. So this is director S. Craig Zahler. This is his. It was his first movie he ever directed, and he's doing something called Brawl in Cell Block 99. He's filming it right now. And
Like right now?
Like
right now.
Well, maybe not right now. It's 10:30 at night. Of course, they could be doing a night shoot. Vince Vaughn, Jennifer, Don Johnson's in it.
I'm in.
Udo Kier. He's from our Iron Sky movies.
Whoa.
Yeah, you calm yourself. I don't recognize anyone else. I don't know who you are. Oh, I do recognize him. He was in We Were Soldiers. Jennifer Carpenter, who are you? I don't know, but
I know that name.
You're pretty. She's in Dexter. She was Emily Rose in The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Yeah. So anyway, so he's filming that. What is it? I don't know. A former boxer turned drug runner lands in a prison battleground after a deal gets deadly. Okay. And that's going to star Vince Vaughn? Okay, good luck.
All I know is I want to see more from this guy.
Yeah, I do too. He has written some other stuff, but he's really new into the film industry, so good luck to him. He's a few years older than I am. So good for you, sir. You made a fine film. It looked good. It was lit well and all that stuff. So what do I want to talk about this movie? Trying to think.
Well,
go ahead, Andy.
Can we talk about? Well, I've talked about what I liked about it. There are a couple things that did kind of I questioned, and it did kind of bother me a little bit. In the very first scene, where what's his face?
David Arquette.
Yeah, David Arquette and Sid
Haig or whatever. Yeah.
Vicious.
Yeah. When those guys are out in the desert, and they're running away from these I guess the cavalry or the whoever might be coming after them.
Right.
As if they're wanted men. They come across this relic burial ground type scene, and if it were me, I would have turned the other direction and ran.
Right.
And they were just really, and another thing is it wasn't really that big. It's not like they couldn't go around it. Why do you got to walk through it?
Right.
Go up the hill and walk around it. Now, would it made a difference to these savages? Probably not. But that was the very first thing. Even the first time I saw it, I thought, you morons.
Right.
You don't walk through a burial ground or a ceremonial, circle of some kind, because you're probably going to die. So that was thing number one I had an issue with.
But before we leave that, I just want to say this, and I remember thinking this in the movie while I was watching it. For the most part, and like one of the biggest issues that we for this podcast has when in movies is that the director and the writers make actors do stupid things, right? For whatever reason, people make really dumb decisions. We ripped that stupid Curse of the Sleeping Beauty movie because it was dumb decision after dumb decision after dumb decision, right? Yep. This movie, it had that dumb decision, right? And it was only because that Sid, what's his face, was just this civilized dude who then spits and scratches his balls with his gun, which is a trope, but it was funny. But they, that was the bad decision. And then in fairness, I think everything after that kind of, I can see why they did that and where they're going and all of this. Like, it all kind of made sense, Yeah. So that I say kudos to the director man for that.
Oh yeah.
Director man. He's
the second thing, and really these were the two biggest things that bothered me. The second thing that bothered me was an effects issue. And at the very end, when Kurt Russell takes the Bone Tomahawk and chops this guy's head off, that's the only thing to me that looked really fake.
Yeah.
I mean, just it almost looked like a scene from Beetlejuice for a moment with some claymation shrinking head type bad graphics. But I mean, there was no CGI in this movie, and I applaud them for that, because in today's world, it's very rare to find a movie that doesn't have CGI.
Yeah.
Or not immersed in it. So I applaud them for it, but that one, just maybe a little touch of CGI would have helped. But maybe they couldn't afford that. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, that Monsters movie was CGI, and that was what he did on his computer at home. But even those giant squid monsters look kind of dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other part was like when Patrick Wilson decides, there's this weird flute thing lodged in his windpipe. I'm going to cut it out with my knife. Yeah, you can tell it was a rubber dummy, whatever. But, I didn't care, because I was like, yeah, this is kind of cool. I'm in. I didn't care. I will say this. The middle third is kind of boring, right? They're just walking and riding horses, and there's a few moments of kind of not even just action, but some suspense, when the Mexicans show up, and I laughed out loud multiple times in this movie. And when he says, "What happened?" and the old man says, I forgot his name.
Chicory.
No, yeah, well, Chicory is the one who says it, but he says, Mr. Bruder decided to educate them Mexicans on manifest destiny. And I lost it. That's hysterical. I mean, you have to know what manifest destiny is to get the joke. But yeah, and that's clever and smart, right? Like it's not like he said he shot some dumb Mexican. Like, he made a joke that you had to know information on, which was clever.
Yeah,
and
I think that's, we've mentioned it already. I think that's, again, really good writing, and even though the middle part of the movie was a little slow for me anyway, especially the very first time, I was just so intrigued and so into it that every word, every action, I just bought 100% in that section, even though it wasn't the most exciting.
Yes, I will agree with that. Even though it was, there wasn't a lot of action, but I think it makes sense to me to see the what they have to go through. This is a long trip. This isn't something where, they ride a horse and then 20 minutes later they're there, and the rest of the movie is them sneaking in. And on top of that, you have to watch out at night. They didn't. They got their horses stolen. I found out horses can be bigots. And other than that,
yeah, man, I felt really bad in that moment when he's like, my horse she's kind of a bigot and she won't let, some Mexican rider. And then he's like, hey, she fought. And he had to go and shoot her. And that might be a trope, right? The man doesn't care for humans, but he cares for his horse. But that kind of got me in the feels, that one, because this. Which, by the way, why did no one care at all that he was stabbed? Like, he's got his leg is bandaged, and we got to take care of him and cater to him. But he just had a knife in his shoulder, and he's fine.
Yeah, tis a flesh wound.
So yeah, it's just a flesh wound. Anyway, right. So I'm sorry, I'm pausing because what just happened? I don't know what just happened. I'm actually going to pause the show. All right, we're back. Sorry, Andrew had to walk away. So, not that any of you know that there was actual time difference. And I should have gone back and listened to what we were talking about because I've already forgotten, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, all that being said, the middle third. Okay, so here's what I'll say about the middle third. Was it slow? Yeah, but it wasn't bad. I wasn't.
Wasn't Tomahawk slow? Yeah.
No, I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't bored.
Right.
And I was thinking about this actually, Andrew, while you were dealing with your child. If you've seen the new version of True Grit, the new True Grit, right? there's that middle third's about the same, right?
Yeah.
There's about a middle third when they're on their journey, and it's just them talking and like he's trying to show off to Matt Damon that he can shoot his little biscuits with because he only has one eye, and there's a lot of just kind of them talking and just kind of bickering and whatever. So I mean, now the last third of the movie is really, really great, but that middle third, it's the same. So it didn't bother me. I can see how others would hate it, but it didn't bother me. I thought it was fine.
Going back to that, and I know we've talked about it, but I really feel like the quality of the dialogue was so good and the writing was so good that you don't really notice how bored or no. I don't know if that's a great way to say it, but for instance, I have always thought that I always listen for music in a movie, and I did not even notice that there was so little music because the dialogue was so good.
Agreed. It was about the end of it where I was like, hey, it's one of those movies that didn't have a lot of music, and it did not make the movie slower. And now it was over 2 hours, but we've had a slew of hour 45s as of late, so it just felt longer, naturally. But I enjoyed the actual, quote unquote, real conversations they had. I do like the fact that our man got punched in the face because he felt entitled to make a joke about his wife.
Yeah, you don't talk about another man's wife. Not back then. You just didn't do it. No, you're right. I like, again, the dialogue was really good. I really liked the dialogue. I thought it was, again, I said already, it was very clever, and didn't make us feel, it wasn't like, yeehaw, cowboy, and all this other stuff, right? Like, it was just, I don't know, the way they talked reminded me of, like, a Firefly. Like, it was just a different language, but they're still speaking English, So...
Yeah. With an occasional bit of Chinese.
Yeah. Obviously, minus the occasional bit of Chinese, but like they would do the. I'm just trying to think of moments in the movie where they would do this, but it was just. I mean, even like Patrick Wilson had like apologizes, right? Like a couple of times, like I'm sorry, I got mad at you. And he's like, oh, it's all right, or they would like be arguing, and Kurt Russell would say, "Remove yourself," and he would walk away. And just, I don't know. There was just the way they talked in the movie. I thought it was really clever, and I really liked it. So I feel like I'm saying that I like this movie a lot, and that's okay because
that is okay.
Yeah.
But you're right. There is the way they said things. Right. There's just the phrasing of certain normal statements that were really cool, and I really wish I knew more of them, naturally. But I was a big fan of remove yourself as opposed to go away or just shut up and get out of here. Right.
I'm actually looking on the website at some of the quotes. But buddy, this is not a time for womanly imaginings. That's actually kind of funny. John Bruder, I'm far too vain to ever live as a cripple.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's pretty awful.
Pain is how your body talks to you. You do well to listen to it. I know the world's supposed to be round, but I'm not so sure about this part. I like that one. This one was really great, and it kind of got me in the feels a little bit. But when the sheriff is dying there with his flask sticking out of his belly and can barely breathe.
That was just awful.
Yeah. He says, "Say goodbye to my wife, and I'll say hello to yours." That one kind of got me. Like, it's just a simple line, but it has so much power behind it, But, like, chicory was the best part of the movie. I hope my horse likes Mexican food. I hope they don't make him eat chilies. It's just so random. Does your aperture ever, shut up or whatever he says? Can you physically close that aperture? Yes, sir. So, And I don't know, I just liked him. It was the opinion of the backup deputy. He was just great. I liked him so much. I want more of him in things. Andrew?
I will say this. I was real concerned. Again, because this movie kind of caught me off guard, like The Hills Have Eyes, that there would be some not nice things to happen to the wife.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the opinion that nothing did happen. Is that? I think that's across the board.
Yeah, I think so. Whether they planned on eating her or they planned on impregnating her, who knows? But they seemed to do pretty good by her. I mean, they were feeding her.
Yeah, but but there were a couple moments where I thought I'm gonna hate this movie if something has happened to this female. I don't know if that's just because I've gone soft in my old age, or
that's because you saw her naked and you felt for her.
Oh no, I mean not at all.
No, okay.
I still like death and destruction. Don't get me wrong, but
well, yeah, but you don't want to see pretty things get messed up. No,
I was okay with it. I was like, I mean, no, I guess what I'm saying is this is more of a there's no good fight to this. There's I don't know. I have my issues with that kind of thing. I think we all do. Yeah. But typically in movies where it just happens, no reason, I have my problems with that. So, unfortunately, this movie did not do that. I think everything was pretty tasteful. Even the
we'll get there in a second. Oh, the what?
Even the boobies, and I liked them too.
Oh, that part. I thought you were talking about the other bit, but So do we want to talk about the elephant in the room? Because my God, that wishbone scene, shit, that hurt.
Yeah.
So I was watching this movie. I watched it earlier today at work, and then I had to come home and finish it. So my wife and kid are downstairs in our new kind of office space, which is this large kind of, it's kind of basically a bedroom / playroom / my podcast space. And so Sarah and Declan are playing. I'm like, guys, you shouldn't be in here. This is kind of a pretty awful movie. So why don't you guys go somewhere else? And so they're in his room playing, and all of a sudden they pull him out and they scalp him, which was really graphic and well done, I thought. Which, by the way, for savages who are just using bone, they had the sharpest.
Holy cow, that bone is sharp.
Like the sharpest tools ever, like scalpel sharp, right?
Yep.
So anyway, they scalp him, they shove it in his mouth, they punch it in.
They spike it in.
Yeah, they rip his clothes off. He's sitting there talking, and the sheriff is trying to encourage him, and he's like, I'm going to make sure your stuff gets back to your brothers, and the cavalry's coming, and hell's coming with me. Oh, that's a different movie. And then they freaking split him up like a goalpost, and when he drops that thing, 100%, I had to turn away, and I screamed I was like, oh my God. And my son runs out and goes, what's wrong, Daddy? And I said, nothing. Go back in the room. And I did not look back to the TV, to my monitor, until I heard them kind of finish the job. So
I watched the whole thing.
I honestly don't even know what it looks like because it was awful.
It was so disturbing the first time.
Well, let me paint a picture for you.
Paint a word picture.
Imagine if you gotten a bag of grapes, and inside that bag of grapes were maybe a couple oranges and whatnot. So anyway, you've squished this bag of grapes, and that's like grape juice. And then you split that bag open, and everything falls out. That's what that looked like.
Okay. That's
the first time I watched this, I was lying in the bed next to my wife, and she was not paying attention at all.
Good.
Luckily, thankfully. But when that scene happened, I gasped. I didn't say a word. It was just and my jaw dropped, and I was just staring at the screen. And she turned and looked at me, not at the screen, but at me, and said, "Are you okay?" And I couldn't even speak.
right.
It was so disturbing. And really, I think that's the first time I'd seen anything that graphic. I've seen like Saw and other horror movies where things are chopped off or or whatever, but this to me was the most graphic thing I believe I've ever seen.
I believe it.
I would.
Yeah. I mean,
It's,
Corny and I watched some pretty graphic and awful stuff in that Hobo with a Shotgun movie, but
oh, it was good, but it was gratuitous and funny.
yeah, it was. Like, if you've not seen that, and I really want to do it for the podcast, but there's a scene where this poor man gets his head ripped off by what's it called? Razor wire.
Manhole cover. Oh,
Yeah, with the manhole cover, but he gets like that razor wire. You know what I'm talking about? You put it on top of fences.
Yeah.
Anyway, he gets that wrapped around his head, and then they drive off with a truck, and his head gets ripped off, and then blood shoots out of his body like a pressure hose geyser. But like, it's kind of ridiculous. And then some blonde girl runs in there, and she's like rubbing her body in the blood. Like, it's gross and weird and whatever, right? So anyway, like, that's what that movie is. So, but you kind of expected that when a movie called Hobo with a Shotgun, and you see who the director is and all that stuff. But I did not expect that, and my gosh, it was, I couldn't watch it. Seriously, couldn't watch it, and I don't think I want to. So,
it was not pleasant. Not pleasant. That's for
There
sure.
there was that moment, and then the where they stick the hilt of the tomahawk in his mouth
oh yeah,
and like press it. That one to me made my stomach just turn. And there was one more scene, like I don't remember what it was exactly. There was something else that they did that I was really like made my butthole pucker a little bit. And I don't remember what it was exactly, but there was something else that just gross and very. It was the where they take the scalding hot metal flask and they shove it in.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and then you hear the searing sound of flesh
yep.
from the hot flask. Ugh.
And I don't know, funny haha isn't the thing, but like he tries to take it out, but apparently it's so hot that it burned his fingers. But I kind of feel like you'd get over that, right? Like, get this thing out of my belly, you know?
Well, okay, so there's another question that I had. How was he not able to touch it, but they could pick it up and hold it while they put it in his stomach?
They used a little piece of cloth.
Paper
Yeah, they
or
had some
something,
kind of cloth or whatever. And
Did they? Okay.
Yeah, a little cloth or whatever.
Yeah, an oven mitt. They had an oven mitt there. And,
Martha Stewart brand.
but I mean, like
tongs.
the thing is that like they went in there, like they had a conversation. Wait, they made me drink this stuff. He's dead, and so is that guy. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go cut him open, and then I'm gonna stick that thing in him to make him feel the pain of the thing. Okay, sounds like a good plan. Okay. Anyway, it's gross. I feel like I should just say this because this movie was, of course.
It was a different time.
So I just wanted to say that. Just wanted to say that.
Oh, Chad.
Yeah, I know, Chad.
Skip that on tonight. Holy hole. Sorry, I didn't mean that.
I did actually, knowing that Sam had broken his leg about 3 days ago, I did ask Chad if he wanted to come on. He couldn't because he's got family in town, and he doesn't have a microphone because he gave it to Sam. So I didn't know that. He gave his microphone to Sam. The bastard. White Jacket and a White Horse, that was kind of funny. Bells on the String was a really good idea, and I wonder if they did that back then. Like, I wonder if that was a thing.
You know what?
Yeah.
I can see it. It made logical sense.
It did, and this is the only movie only Western I've ever seen that. Ever. So, kudos to them for if that's real. I don't know.
But I was gonna say, how many movies have we watched, individually and said, man, what if we just put something to, make someone go only one way, and if they go that way, it'll set off an alarm or whatever, or to take turns, take a watch,
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that whole idea?
I don't know. Yeah, that probably would have been good after the Mexicans learned about the Emancipation Proclamation. They probably should have, not Emancipation Proclamation. That's for the freed slaves.
What the
I'm in
hell?
Manifest Destiny. I don't know where that came from.
wrong.
Yeah, wrong thing completely.
Yeah.
One was good and one not so much.
Probably around the same time period, but
About 20 or 30 years later.
yeah.
Hey guys, anybody seeing a call coming in for all three of you?
Sam
Currently?
is calling in. Okay, let's see what happens. Sam?
Hi, guys.
Okay, hang in there. Hold on, I'm gonna put you on hold. All right. So are you on your Skype? Is this on your phone?
On my phone.
All right,
Sorry.
just hang in there. Okay. So I'm gonna hang up on you. Okay. So. All right. Okay. So Sam is calling in. So I'm gonna add him to our call here. Was not expecting Sam to join us tonight from the hospital.
He got released. He got released.
He's home now. Yeah.
Sam, are
He
you
got
home?
released.
Oh, he didn't answer. Okay, come on. Had to call.
This is weird.
This is great for a podcast right now. Hey, dude,
Hey, guys.
how you doing?
Oh, it sucks.
Yeah, how's your leg? Just as good as
Sucks.
Did you watch the movie
No.
Okay.
What movie was it?
Bone Tomahawk?
Oh, that's right. I got it. Yeah, I'll catch it this weekend.
Okay, so
It all.
there's a character in the movie that spends a whole movie on a crutch because he fell off his roof and tore up his leg, and he's one of the heroes. So,
All right.
How appropriate, ironic, and coincidental that there's a movie that we're reviewing where there's a guy with a messed up leg.
Nice.
And oddly
Nice.
enough, just like in the movie, you came in at the last minute to add to our story.
To save the day.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
just calling to see if you guys could get my wife to send me some medication down here.
That is awesome.
How can we do that when you can't?
I was actually getting ready to ask, are you currently drugged up?
No, I need to be.
Okay.
But yeah, it's okay.
All right. Well,
Yeah, so Bone Tomahawk. It's about a boat and a tomahawk.
no, bone tomahawk, not boat tomahawk.
And there's cowboys and Indians and aliens.
No, that's a different
Well, that's
movie.
a different movie.
Oh,
That's
But-
with James.
Yeah, with James Bond and
that's right.
Han Solo.
And weird looking girl.
Yeah, 13.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Olivia
Olivia
Wilde.
something?
Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah, that's her. That's her.
Yeah, if Sam's lack of knowledge of movie actors and their actual names when he's not drugged up, I bet you tonight would be even better. So go get some rest, dude. Thanks for calling in.
I was trying to figure out a way to call my wife
Well,
because she's not answering.
are you downstairs?
Yeah, because I can't get up the stairs.
How'd you get downstairs?
I'm wheelchaired in.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Parachuted.
I was trying to think because
Yeah.
you still have stairs to get down because you have a split foyer, but I guess you went around the back. Okay.
Yeah, we went through the garage.
Okay.
I just thought I'd call it. I thought you guys would still be up
Yeah, we're still
doing
recording.
this, and I just wanted to say hi.
Well, hey, buddy, this is definitely one of the strangest episodes we've ever had, but
Good.
so we'll just give you this recommendation, Sam.
Yeah.
If you watch this movie, make sure that your children and wife are nowhere near it, and there's a scene with a wishbone that's gonna make you hurt. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh,
But if you want to,
I don't know. When I'm able to see the bottom of my foot from a standing position, bones breaking doesn't faze me as much anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fair. But it was still awful, and I cringed and couldn't watch it. But real quick, if you want to, because we're going to be recording for the next 20 or 30 minutes, maybe. Our top three is weird weapons. So if you want to add to that, shoot me a text, little texty text.
Okay,
and,
I'll do that.
All right, buddy.
As I start banging on the wall to get my wife's attention.
All right. Well, good luck.
Okay.
See ya,
All right.
buddy. Feel better.
Good night, guys.
See ya.
Yep. Have a good evening.
Bye, buddy. Oh, okay. So,
Poor guy.
so I guess I should just go ahead and tell the story. So basically, Sam was at his daughter's birthday party.
When a train crashed through.
Yeah. No, actually, he
Tried to sound.
he was
like
kind
it
of
was
just
more exciting.
he was just kind of running around, and then he kind of fell off a 3-inch pad and broke his leg. And I mean legit broke. He's got a plate and 8 pins.
He did.
In his leg. His leg is dead.
We can rebuild him.
We have the technology. So Sam's in pain. As you can clearly hear.
And in need of his wife.
And in need of his wife, yeah. I'm actually going to pull her up on Facebook and send her a message and say, call your husband. He's in pain. So anyway.
What just happened?
Yeah, this is very fun. Anyway, where were we? I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go through the last of my notes, and then that's it. What? Oh. They
Can we do clips?
Yeah, I'll do clips in just a second. Asshole gets stabbed in the shoulder, but no one seems to care. Bunch of dirty cowboys that sure are polite to each other. I kind of like that bit. They get attacked by the two, and they seem pretty sure no one else is around, so they're lighting cigars. I thought that was kind of funny. Poor Mr. Bruder wanted to make his last stand. Never got a chance to. I mentioned that. He could have at least wiped off the blood before he stuck that windpipe thing in his mouth.
for
that
real.
kind of grossed me out a little bit. And it's
she won't kiss him at the end because she said, you've been putting this thing in your mouth. And he had water the whole time. It could have at least washed it off.
Well, that was weird because they showed...
What is even worse is when she says, you've had this thing in your mouth. I'm not going to kiss you. He takes a handkerchief and wipes his mouth and says, is that okay?
Yeah. And she's like, yeah. And then does... But, like, didn't we already see earlier where there was a bit where he's, like, pouring the last bit of water into his mouth? And then he, like, slams the canteen down?
They went through and picked up stuff, so I can imagine they grabbed...
maybe he found Kurt Russell's canteen.
He pulled it out of him.
He pulled it out of him. Oh, it was lodged in his kidney over here. Just, whoop. Good thing he can reload fast, and those others were kind of slow. I mean, he hit one, and he just kind of looked at him, and then started to pull back his bow and arrow, and then he shot the bow, which was kind of cool, actually, how they did that. Mm-hmm. And then he picks up, he's looking for... Like, the guy stops to go look for a weapon. Like, just run at the guy and just use your fists, you know? Like, he is limited to a gun, and you gave time to reload. So I guess that's a bad decision by the whatever, but maybe they don't know what guns are. I mean, that other one certainly didn't know how to work a rifle. So, anyway, my tropes were man jokes about being civilized while spitting and scratching his junk with his pistol. I mean, not specifically, but that trope exists. No one likes a politician.
Would he be scratching his pistol with his pistol?
Yes, he would be. His gun, I guess. One is my rifle, one is my gun, one is for fighting, one is for fun. Isn't that the little joke?
It is.
At
Stewie
least,
said it best. Stewie said it best.
Yeah, he did. At least one. Every movie has to have at least one asshole. Men cares for very little except his horse.
In this case, we have two halves.
Yeah.
There it is.
Ass half.
So we won't even have an asshole. We have an ass half.
Yeah, an ass divide. I don't know. Hero dies to save others. Thing. There we go. Ready for some clippies? Of course you are. There we go. A little clippy clip.
There are 16 major veins in the neck, and you have to cut through them all.
All right, 16.
My uncle had an acquaintance with a man who used to be a doctor, and that's what he said. Now you get on with the task.
I thought that was funny. Here we go. Here's some, I mentioned earlier about the sound. Maybe I didn't capture it in this, but anyway, this was kind of a funny thing, and there you go.
And not just because you're prettier than most cows.
Most.
You never saw Jessica.
There you go. All right. This line made me laugh out loud, hysterically, because it was great.
Why was my husband, the mayor, not informed of this situation immediately?
Well, the sheriff, he told me to go get him, but I'm old and I forgot.
You expect me to believe that?
I'm hoping.
He was the best part of the movie. Oh, he was great. He was fantastic. And then this is the only other one I got. Again, there were some really good moments, but I didn't want to just have 15 quotes of just old man, but maybe I should have. Here we go.
Mr. Corey, call me Chicory. Chicory. Sorry for hollering at you. My wife used to call me a dumb imbecile all the time. Felt kind of nice.
Oh, he was great. I wanted more of him. Okay. That's all.
And now for some more bad news. Ready?
Shot in 21 days, which is pretty impressive.
Sounds right.
Yeah. Final movie represents the first draft of the script, which is pretty cool. After reading the director's second novel called Wraiths of the Broken Land, Kurt Russell stated that, quote, Zoller's a fabulous storyteller whose style catapults his reader into the turn of the century West with a ferocious sense of authenticity, end quote. That phrase is written on the back of the book cover. When the movie was officially announced in October of 2012, Peter Sarsgaard, Jennifer Carpenter were set to play the O'Dwyers, and Timothy Oliphant was going to play John Broder. Interesting. Jim Broadbent, who we know from Harry Potter as Mr. Slughorn, Mr. Slughorn, right? Anyway, replaced. Is that right? Why do I not think that's right? Nah, it doesn't matter. He's the professor. Replaced original cast member Richard Jenkins for a few months. When the project was delayed, Jenkins was then recast in his role, which is kind of funny. What? John Broder, Matthew Fox, wears the same style pistol holster as Johnny Ringo in Tombstone, which is kind of funny.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Yep. And that's all I'm going to read. That's it. So there you go. That's your trivia.
I have a piece of trivia for you.
Oh, please.
The director also composed what little music there was.
Oh, so he pulled a John Carpenter on us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good for him. What? I'm in the message board somehow, and it says, good acting and good directing, but it's a bad movie. I'll tell you why. Well, fine. And then somebody else wrote, Matthew Fox, take rock to the face. Okay, whatever. It's the message board. It's a dark and scary place. If you want real opinions, just listen to us. I'm just teasing. Where am I? Oh, that's it. Yeah, so that's all of that. So I'm not going to do the recasting game because, well, it's a new movie. It's a 2015 movie, so no need to recast it. I thought the cast was actually really good. I thought everyone did fine. I really did. Soundtrack, great. I'm going to give it, it was fine. It wasn't much, but it was fine. And that's okay. Again, I didn't notice that it wasn't there. I noticed it when it wasn't there, but I didn't really notice when it was there. Whatever.
Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, sorry. Here we go. All right, time for top three. I don't know if Sam has had a chance to send me his top three. I'm going to check my phone here in a second, but
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, probably not. He probably fell asleep.
Yeah, probably
not. Has been dealing with his wife. So anyway, Andrew, weird weapons.
All right. I'm going to go.
And of course, by
3.
weird weapons, I mean we're making reference to the fact that they did, in fact, use like jawbones of animals as tomahawks, and most of the cowboys were killed in that manner.
Yeah, that's a real thing. They actually did use the jawbones of animals, and not just in this movie, in this story. Historically, tribes of different native cultures, not just Native American Indians or indigenous peoples, but tribes, different places from the world use jawbones and other bones, but jawbones specifically for hacking and cutting purposes.
Sure.
Just a tidbit of info.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 3, I chose the hat from Odd Job in Goldfinger.
Right.
Nice.
Who throws a shoe?
I was gonna. Who throws a shoe?
Who throws a shoe? Really?
Number 2, and I don't know what this thing is called, but in No Country for Old Men, he uses a
the cow killer,
air compressed cow killer.
Yeah.
That they shoot this little metal rod through a cow's brain to stun it, and that's what he uses as his weapon. So that one kind of freaked me out a little bit. And number 1, one of the most genius items ever to be used, I believe, and in one of the greatest ways, the pencil from The Dark Knight, as the Joker slams it into his head and makes it disappear. So
that's right. No, you're right. I you took one of mine. Corny.
All right. So I'm going to go with my number 3 as the. It's kind of weird how to define, but Acton's powers from Star Crash, how he killed that guy by basically just giving him an aneurysm with light powers. But basically, instead of using his laser blocking skills to kill him with that, he just did something else.
Right.
So, you have to see this movie, folks. It was terrible.
Yeah. You gotta watch Star Crash. Everyone should go to our YouTube channel and watch our live version of Star Crash, the podcast. But first, you have to go watch the movie Star Crash. Go watch it.
And then my number 2 will be turning your hand into an axe and getting a gun because it's a trap.
Not an axe, chainsaw.
No, sorry. Get a trick. Sorry, get an axe. Or it's a trick, get an axe. Sorry, I was making reference to that one.
Right.
Chainsaw hand, sorry.
Yeah, the chainsaw hand. Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, a little Ash reference there.
Yeah.
And my number 1, which has also an honorable mention with the number 1, a giant hammer that came from a little purse for Ramona Flowers from Scott Pilgrim vs. World. And then my number 1 would actually be self-respect, as Scott pulled a sword out of his own chest to defeat the bad guys.
Yeah, he does. All right on. Sam actually pulled through and sent me a text of his top 3 kind of weird weapons. Yeah. So number 3 is a carrot in Shoot Me Up. Shoot 'em up? Shoot 'em up.
Shoot 'em up, yeah.
Shoot 'em up. Number 2 is the proton pack blasters from Ghostbusters, but he spelled Ghostbusters GHOSTBUSTERD. Ghostbustard. And his number 1 was the arc gun from District 9. Which was pretty awesome, actually, in that movie. So, all right. Right on, Sam. I feel better. My number 1 or 3 was the T-bone steak in Law Abiding Citizen.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. My number 2 was the pencil in Dark Knight. I was trying to think of something better, or something different, I should say. Nothing better, but something different, since you just mentioned it. I can't think of one. But my number 1, and I only thought of this because I watched the movie today, is the teacup from Chronicles of Riddick. So, it was a dumb scene, but it was kind of funny. And so there you go, teacup. There you go. That's it. That's our top 3, and that was fun. There's lots of other probably better ones. Maybe the nail gun that they used in Event Horizon would be a good one too. There's
a 6-shooter nail gun.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's actually a lot of other movies where they used really kind of strange and violent ways where you're like, oh, what a horrible way to die. So, the wood chipper and Tucker and Dale and Fargo. That'd be a pretty awful way. He just threw himself in there. I don't know what happened. He's trying to pull him out. Oh, I want to watch that movie again. Oh man! All right,
such a good movie.
So that's it. That's our show. Thank you for.
You killed my dog.
I gotta play it. It's been forever. Crap.
And actually, it's fitting for this movie because while they had their bell chain wrapped around their area, a dog wandered in and Brody.
I feel like a Power Ranger.
Sorry, that's not it.
That is not it.
Here it is. All right.
That happened in this movie.
If you kill my dog, I swear to God, I'll get really mad.
It's been a long time since we played that. That's great. Anyway, that's it. That's our show. Thank you for listening. Holy crap, that was fun and fast and furious. What the hell are
Shall we
doing?
do out of 10?
Oh yeah, that's the part. Yeah, I literally scrolled right past that down to my closing section of the script. Out of 10, Andrew.
I think it's a great movie. Like I said before, there's many things that I like about it. Very few things that I don't. And for the budget, I think they did a tremendous job. So I'm going to go 8.8.
Oh, wow.
Out of 10.
Yeah, that's pretty high for you there, Andrew.
Yep.
In fact, I'm scrolling through here. That's your highest ranking you've ever given. That's
really?
Not true. No, you gave Star Wars: The Force Awakens a 9. So,
okay.
There you go.
And you did once give my ass a perfect 10.
Did you? Did you do The Force Awakens with us?
No,
that was Chad. So never mind. So yeah, this is your highest ranking movie ever. So yeah, that's fine. That's
cool.
Perfectly fine. All right, Corny.
Yo, what's up? I think I'm going to give this movie 8.2. I think it was really well done. Again, it's probably not a movie I'm going to go out and watch again, but for the budget, for everything else, it kept me entertained. I watched with no inkling of doing anything else. So good job, Kurt Russell, in your flask of death. And all right.
Yeah, that was pretty clever too. Sam hasn't watched it. Otherwise, I'd ask him for his whatever, but he hasn't watched it, so that's fine. So I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it like a 7.9. Oops, wait, I gotta actually click on the thing here. Sorry, 7 point. As my computer yells at me. I liked it. I thought it was good. I don't really, and frankly, I'm not quite sure what it could have done. I mean, maybe if you had a $15 million budget, maybe you could have done some little bit better effects.
I think this movie's a little worse with a higher budget.
I don't know about, again, I'm not saying CGI. I'm not talking cowboys and aliens. I'm talking like, maybe you can actually have some, like the whatever you want to call them, the troglodytes. They were just off camera, right? Like they're walking through the open, and all of a sudden they just appear from off camera. Maybe we can have locations where they can actually kind of come out of the ground, or like have them in their hiding spots or whatever, and maybe you can do some better sets. They're not sets, but like some better locations and stuff like that with a little bit more money. Again, not saying that you need to CGI this thing up or anything like that. Maybe hire a composer. Even not like a good one, just like even just a TV kind of guy, have just a little bit, give it a more Western kind of a feel in those moments. I don't know. Just again, it's not a perfect movie. It could have been, I think, a little bit better, but it was, for the budget, it was a really, really good movie. And I don't want to, however, overcorrect that for that, like, I mean, Monsters was the same budget, and it wasn't nearly as good as this.
Right.
So, and that was my argument in that movie. And this movie actually proves our argument that we've been making on this show for 140 episodes. You don't need a big budget to make a good movie, and you can, just because you don't have it, what I'm saying? Like, my argument for Monsters was people were making really bad decisions, and it was a bad movie, and it had nothing to do with the low budget. It was the fact that it was poorly written. Now that movie, there was no script, but anyway, it's maybe a bad example. Anyway, that's gonna do it. So that was our Thanksgiving episode. So let's be thankful that we're not trapped in a cave with some troglodytes who want to cut us in half. So that's what I'm gonna be.
Or Sam's leg.
Yeah, I'm gonna be very, very thankful for that, or that we don't have a broken leg like Sam. I do feel bad for him. I really do. That sucks. At your daughter's birthday party too. That really sucks.
I do want to say that I am thankful that I get to spend time with you guys once a week in this manner because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, ditto as well. This is that. This is fun as hell, and I love doing this. And for reasons outside of our control, are going to be the only reason why we stop this show. That's all I'm going to say. Whether it's financial or iTunes said, you guys, we're not putting you on anymore, and in which case we'd find other means to get on air because...
I say love you.
There you go. Anyway, yeah, that's going to do it. So thanks for listening. Again, this was a good movie. Good job, Andrew. I appreciate you recommending that. Speaking of recommendations, we have had one. It was not via the email, which is the preferred method of communication, but we got a... I'm not bitter at all about that.
No.
We did get a tweet from listener Jillian, who also is a good...
Ooh, with the lady.
Yeah, and is a good friend of mine, so she will be our confirmed third female listener.
How you doing?
Where did she...
Joey, no.
Jillian says, Jillian, OMG, Sky High is on Netflix. Cheapseat Reviews, please review.
Jillian, get the F out.
To which I responded, only because it's you and you're awesome, but you'd better listen to our episode. So she said that she would. So
I ain't watching Sky High, man. I ain't doing it.
Sky High is on streaming, and we are men of our word. If you ask for it, we will deliver. I have not guaranteed when we're going to do it, so it's on the list.
Power of Grayskull.
I don't have that handy. But anyway, so we will do it. Just I don't know when, but we will do it.
Not a great plan.
Yeah. So anyway, I couldn't find the Power of Grayskull. Oh, here it is.
The Power of Grayskull.
There you go. I don't know why all these things are making me laugh, but they are. Was there a montage? Traveling montage?
Not really.
I don't think so. It didn't really...
Didn't really fit? Okay.
No.
No worries.
However, there is one thing that I think we forgot to play. Where did the tomahawk hit him again, Sean?
I don't know. Do I have the thing you're looking for? I don't know.
I don't know. It was just like
if Leon Phelps had shown up.
Right.
You mean did he get hit?
In the butt, yes.
Yeah, there was a lot of that happening.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I just didn't know where you wanted to
They
go with that.
split him into... Oh, my God.
Yeah, they did.
That's going to be the worst. That's going to ruin your day, folks. Let's be honest here. That's going to ruin your day.
I forgot what this is. What is this?
Malachi!
Oh, okay. That's right. Because he sounds like Malachi. I forgot that was from the Eagle movie. Okay. So, yeah, I'm not gonna actually play the Malachi one. Don't worry, buddy. Yeah, that's it. That's all I'm gonna do. So anyway, what is that one? What? I got so many in here. I don't even know what they are. It doesn't matter.
Label them.
There we go.
Hey, brah!
There you go. So that's going to do it for our show. So thank you for listening to our Thanksgiving episode. This will, I'll post this on Thanksgiving, but as you listen, you would have already known that by now. So that's it. So yeah, Sky High. Look forward to that. Next week, however, is not Sky High. It is the I don't know what year it is. I'm looking for it. It is the one, the only, the 2002 Wesley Snipes, Chris Christopherson, Blade 2.
Always been on black vampires.
That's right. I think he's the only one.
First decent Marvel movie.
I'm gonna make some more noises here. I'm gonna argue no to that, sir. Only in the fact that I think that the first Blade movie actually wasn't that bad, but this one's better. And then I'm looking at the actual release date. This came out about 3 months before Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
Well, are we saying Marvel as a Marvel character or Marvel as a Marvel company?
I was saying company, but...
Company, yeah. As a movie production, not obviously Marvel Studios, because that didn't exist until 2008.
Right.
But, because I'm trying to think of the 90s Marvel, nothing. I mean, what movies were they making in the 90s?
The Punisher.
Right? The Punisher movies, right? Which are not good. You know, like I can't think of any other movies from the 90s that they did. Man, I really don't like you when you do this.
But we can talk about that next week.
No, I guess we can. Fine. Yeah, you're right. Anyway, so that's it. Blade 2 is next week. Look forward to that. It is a really fun movie. Of course, I own it on DVD. Guillermo del Toro did it. So this will be our second one of his we did.
Good old Del Taco. Good for you.
With the Hellboy and the Ron Perlman and the Wesley Snipes before he started not paying his taxes. So
actually, I'm pretty sure this is he's not paying.
This actually, he's probably not doing it at this point. So you're probably right. So maybe that's why he's in every little thing. Anyway, so that's gonna do it for us. So yeah, thanks for listening, man. That was fun. That was a good show. Leave us a review on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, wherever you can find podcasts. They help us out in more ways than I can describe. Visit our website, cheapseatreviews.com. And shoot us any emails that you want to at cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. If you guys have any requests for Christmas movies, we've already gotten one for Gremlins. So if you want us to do anything during the month of December, whether it be Christmas related or you just think it would be good to do for that month, just shoot us an email, Twitter? Did I just say that? Twitter or the Facebook. Either way is fine. And facebook.com/cheapseatreviews, of course, is our website. Please follow us on Twitter at CheapSeatCast. That is where you can, again, tweet us, and I will unfortunately do your movie. I'm sorry, Corny. I have seen Sky High, and it's going to be fun. I don't know. Maybe, actually, you know what? That might be a good one that we all sit together and watch and make fun of. I don't know. Maybe that. Or Gremlins. Again, your emails to cheapseatreviews@gmail.com. So on behalf of Sam and his poor broken leg, send him some love at Saniji16 is his Twitter handle. So send him some love. So on behalf of Sam, Andrew, and Corny, this is Sean saying thank you for listening. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and be careful with the wishbone.